Success is not something that happens by accident. It doesn't show up at your doorstep because you waited for the right moment or because luck decided to smile on you. Success is built through habits, the daily choices you make, the actions you take, and the mindset you carry. Every decision you make either moves you closer to your goals or pulls you further away. The difference between the people who achieve their dreams and the people who watch life pass them by comes down to one thing: the habits they practice. These habits are not complicated. They don't require genius-level talent or extraordinary circumstances. They are simple, practical, and available to anyone who is willing to commit to them. What separates successful people from everyone else is the way they approach their daily life, the way they structure their actions, and the way they invest in themselves every single day. When you understand and implement the right habits, your potential grows exponentially. Discipline becomes easier, focus sharpens, energy multiplies, and opportunities begin to appear in ways you never imagined. It's not about working harder than everyone else. It's about working smarter, being consistent, smarter, and ensuring that every action you take builds momentum toward your future. In this video, we're going to explore the 8 essential habits that form the foundation of success. These are the habits that will change the way you approach life, work, and growth. They are practical, actionable, and proven to work when applied consistently. By the end, you will understand exactly what it takes to create a life of achievement, energy, and fulfillment. Success starts with your habits, and your habits start with you. If you are ready to take control of your future, to operate at your highest level, and to build the life you've always wanted, then these 8 habits will become your roadmap. This is not theory. This is not wishful thinking. This is the reality of what it takes to achieve lasting, meaningful success. Habit E, discipline in daily actions. Discipline is the foundation of every success story. If you want to build wealth, freedom, and the life you dream of, it doesn't start with talent, luck, or even knowledge. It begins with the daily choices you make when no one is watching. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. And the truth is, most people never reach their potential because they allow their emotions to control their actions. They wake up only when it feels comfortable. They work only when it's convenient, and they stop the moment things get difficult. That way of living may feel easier in the short term, but it guarantees mediocrity in the long run. Discipline is not about punishment. It's about consistency. It's about showing up every single day with a clear decision that your goals are more important than your excuses. Think about the small things that seem unimportant: setting your alarm early, keeping promises you made to yourself, finishing the tasks you committed to, even when you're tired. These small acts of discipline compound over time and build the strength you need to achieve great results. Success is not built overnight. It's constructed brick by brick through the discipline of daily action. The people who achieve success understand that their habits shape their future. They don't rely on motivation because motivation comes and goes. They build systems that force them to stay on track even when motivation is low. If you're waiting until you feel inspired before you act, you'll never create momentum. Discipline means you do it anyway. You read the book even when you'd rather watch television. You finish the workout even when you feel exhausted. You make the phone call even though you're nervous. Each time you follow through, you strengthen your character and your willpower. Discipline also protects you from regret. Most people suffer not because of the challenges of discipline, but because of the pain of knowing they could have done more and didn't. Wasted time and broken promises to yourself add up, and before long, you realize how much opportunity has slipped away. Discipline is what saves you from that pain. But when you are disciplined, you can look back knowing you gave your best. You might not control every outcome, but you control your effort. And that effort builds a sense of pride that no one can take away. There is also freedom in discipline. Many people confuse discipline with restriction, but the truth is, discipline creates options. The disciplined person has more time, more energy, and more control over their life. They're not running late because they manage their time. They're not broke because they manage their money. They're not unhealthy because they managed their body. Discipline builds the kind of structure that allows you to enjoy life without chaos. Freedom is not the absence of rules. It is the reward of following the right ones. To build discipline, you have to start small. If you try to overhaul your entire life overnight, you'll feel overwhelmed. But if you start with one commitment, such as waking up at the same time every day or finishing one important task, no matter what, you'll start training your mind and body to follow through. With time, you can stack more disciplined actions until they become a natural part of your life. The hardest part is the beginning. But once you prove to yourself that you can stick to something, it gets easier to expand that same energy into other areas. Discipline is also about priorities. You cannot say yes to everything and expect to succeed. Every yes to distraction is a no to progress. If you want to be successful, you have to ask yourself, what matters most? And then you align your actions with that answer. Discipline is choosing what matters now over what feels good now. It's about trading short-term pleasure for long-term gain. And that trade, though it feels tough in the moment, always pays off in the end. You also need to understand that discipline is not perfection. Nobody is perfect. You will slip, you will miss a day, you will make mistakes. Discipline is not about never falling. It's about not staying down. The disciplined person gets back up quicker, refocuses, and keeps moving forward. They don't allow one mistake to turn into a habit. They recognize it, correct it, and return to the path. That persistence is what separates those who succeed from those who give up at the first challenge. If you look at anyone who has achieved extraordinary success, you will notice that their life is built on discipline. They might have different talents, different opportunities, or different resources, but the one thing they all share is an unshakable commitment to disciplined actions. They do what needs to be done consistently until the results show up, and once the results show up, they don't stop. They keep going because discipline has become their way of life. Every day, you have a choice. You can choose to drift through life, waiting for things to happen, letting excuses hold you back. Or you can choose discipline, deciding that your goals matter more than your comfort. That single choice, repeated over and over, will change your future. Success is not built on luck or talent alone. It is built on disciplined daily actions that compound over time into something remarkable. If you want to achieve success, start by taking control of the smallest parts of your day. Wake up when you said you would. Do the work you promised yourself you would do. Stop delaying, stop waiting, stop making excuses. The path to success is not glamorous, but it is clear. It is discipline in the daily actions, repeated consistently, that shapes the life you desire. Habit R, clear goal setting and planning. The second habit that separates wealthy people from those who stay broke is clear goal setting and planning. Let me tell you, nothing happens by accident. Wealth doesn't just show up in your life one morning. Success doesn't knock on your door and say, "Here I am." It comes because you had a plan, you set clear goals, and you worked toward them every single day. Most people live day to day without any real direction. They wake up, go to work, come home, watch some television, scroll on their phone, and repeat the cycle. There's no vision, no written plan, no clear target. And here's the problem. If you don't know where you're going, you'll end up anywhere. Or worse, you'll end up nowhere. Wealthy people are planners. They sit down with a notebook, they think, they write, they decide where they want to go, and then they design the steps to get there. It doesn't matter whether it's financial goals, career goals, or personal goals, they put it on paper. Why? Because writing it down turns a dream into something real. It forces you to get specific. And when you're specific, you can measure your progress. You know, if you say, I want to be rich someday, that's not a goal, that's a wish. But if you say, in 5 years, I want to save e-Byteling Chris, by setting aside each e-by a month, investing it in a growth fund, and increasing my income by learning new skills. Now, that's a plan. That's something you can track. That's something you can hold yourself accountable to. Ooh. Now, let me tell you why this matters so much. Without goals, life pulls you in every direction. One day you want this, the next day you want that. You react to circumstances instead of creating them. And that's exactly why so many people stay stuck. They are busy but not productive. They are moving but not moving forward. Flaunting also gives you control. When you plan your day, your week, your month, your year, you stop drifting, you stop wasting time. You stop letting other people's plans control your life. The truth is, if you don't have your own goals, you'll spend your life working for someone else's goals. That's how the world works. Wealthy people don't just think about today, they think about 10 years from now. They ask themselves, where do I want to be in 5 years? What do I want my family's life to look like? How much freedom do I want to create? What kind of impact do I want to leave? And once they have that vision, they break it down into daily action steps. Because success is not built in one day. It's built day by day. Now here's the truth you need to hear. Goals without action are useless. Some people love writing goals, but they never take the first step. They plan and plan and plan, but planning without execution is just procrastination in disguise. Wealthy people do both. They plan and they act. They adjust the plan as they go, but they never stop moving forward. So let me challenge you right now. Do you have your goals written down? Not in your head, not floating around as thoughts, but written down clearly on paper. Do you have a financial plan? Do you know exactly what you're working toward this year? If the answer is no, then that's where you must start. Because if you don't set your goals, life will set them for you, and you may not like where it takes you. Yalian habits seen, continuous learning and self-education. You know, one of the biggest differences between those who succeed and those who stay stuck is this. Success people never stop learning. They treat education as a lifelong habit, not something that ends when school is over. Most people think once they graduate, the learning phase of their life is complete. But the truth is, graduation is not the end of learning. It's just the beginning. Life itself is the real classroom. And the people who understand that, who commit to learning every single day, are the ones who move ahead while everyone else stays the same. The world is changing faster than ever. Technology, business, skills, and opportunities are evolving daily. If you're not constantly learning, you're falling behind. Even if you don't notice it, think about it. The knowledge and skills that got you to where you are today may not be enough to take you where you want to go tomorrow. The question is, are you investing in yourself the way you should? Are you building your mind and sharpening your skills every single day? Because your brain is your greatest asset. It's the one tool that multiplies everything else in your life. And if you don't strengthen it, if you don't expand it, it will hold you back instead of pushing you forward. Now let me be clear, continuous learning doesn't always mean going back to school or getting another degree. It means being intentional about growing your knowledge. It means reading books that challenge your thinking, listening to ideas that open your perspective, learning new skills that make you more valuable, and surrounding yourself with people who are smarter, wiser, or more experienced than you. The truth is, your income will almost always match your personal growth. If you only learn enough to get by, your results will reflect that. But if you dedicate yourself to becoming a student of life, your opportunities and success will grow beyond anything you could imagine. Think about the wealthiest, most successful people in the world. Almost all of them have one thing in common. They read, they study, and they learn every day. Warren Buffett once said he spends about 500 hours of his day reading. Bill Gates is known to read about Woozer's books a year. Elon Musk taught himself rocket science by reading books. These are people who understand that knowledge compounds. Just like money, the more you know, the more connections you can make, the more problems you can solve, and the more valuable you become. But here's the problem. Most people spend more time being entertained than being educated. They spend hours scrolling on social media, watching TV shows, playing games, consuming content that doesn't improve their life, doesn't increase their value, and doesn't move them closer to their goals. Now, there's nothing wrong with relaxing, but if entertainment takes more of your time than education, don't be surprised when your life doesn't change. Because the reality is, what you feed your mind shapes your future. If you feed it distractions, you'll get distracted results. If you feed it growth, you'll get growth results. All right, so let me ask you a question. What are you feeding your mind on a daily basis? Do you spend more time educating yourself or entertaining yourself? Do you spend more money on books, courses, and mentors, or on temporary pleasures that give you nothing in return? Success requires you to be intentional about these choices. And here's the best part. In today's world, there are endless ways to learn. You don't have to be rich to get started. You don't have to sit in a classroom. You don't have to spend years in a formal education system. You can learn from audiobooks while driving, podcasts while exercising, courses online, free videos, and yes, from mentors who have already walked the path. All of this is available to you right now. The only question is whether you'll use it, right? And let me tell you, self-education is powerful because it puts you in control. Formal education can give you a living, but self-education can make you a fortune. The difference is that formal education is often designed to fit everyone into the same box. But self-education is tailored to your dreams, your goals, your future. You choose what to study, you choose what to focus on, and you choose how much effort to put in. And if you're serious, you can learn almost any skill you need to create success. Imagine this. What if you spent just Sensors minutes every day studying your craft, improving your mindset, learning about money, or building new skills? That's 3.5 hours a week. Over a month, that's Circe hours. Over a year, that's Ibat Lo Shabbat hours. That's the equivalent of spending an entire month out of every year just learning. Can you imagine how much you would grow? Can you imagine how much further ahead you would be compared to someone who spends that same time scrolling or watching meaningless shows? Let's make this practical. If you want to increase your income, study money, learn how it works, how to invest, how to manage it, how to multiply it. If you want to be healthier, study nutrition, fitness, and habits that build energy and strength. If you want to be a better leader, study communication, human psychology, and decision-making. Whatever you want to improve in your life, there's knowledge out there waiting for you. The only barrier is whether you'll commit to seeking it. And here's something else to think about. Learning doesn't just give you knowledge, it gives you confidence. When you know more, you do more. You make decisions faster. You take risks with greater clarity. You step into rooms with a different energy because you're prepared. Confidence doesn't just come from believing in yourself. It comes from knowing you're capable, and capability comes from learning. So ask yourself today, are you growing or are you staying the same? Because if you're not learning, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're slowly falling behind. The world isn't waiting. Opportunities are passing by every day. And the ones who grab them are the ones who prepared themselves with knowledge, skills, and growth. Make learning a daily habit. Treat it like a non-negotiable. Replace Sensory minutes of entertainment with Sensory minutes of education. Start building a personal library of books, courses, and resources that feed your growth. Surround yourself with people who talk about ideas instead of gossip. People who challenge you to think bigger instead of keeping you small. Be a student of success, because once you build the habit of continuous learning, you unlock the greatest advantage of all. You'll never stop growing, and the world will never stop rewarding you for it. So remember this: the more you learn, the more you earn. And the more you grow, the more life expands for you. Knowledge is power, but applied knowledge is freedom. Don't just live life. Learn it, master it, and use it to create the future you deserve. Habits, sir. Taking consistent action without excuses. There's one thing that separates the dreamers from the achievers, and it isn't talent, luck, or connections. It's action. Every person you admire, every success story you've ever heard, every millionaire or billionaire you've ever studied, they all have one thing in common. They take action, not sometimes, not when they feel like it. Not only when everything is lined up perfectly, they take action consistently, regardless of how they feel, regardless of what's happening around them, regardless of excuses. See, the world is full of people with great ideas. The graveyard is full of people who had dreams, visions, and goals they wanted to accomplish. But they never got around to taking action. And the reason is simple: action is hard. It requires effort, discipline, and sacrifice. It demands that you push past your fears, silence your excuses, and move forward even when conditions aren't perfect. That's why most people choose comfort over action. But let me tell you something. Comfort never built anything. Comfort never created wealth. Comfort never gave anyone freedom. If you want to build a successful life, you've got to make action your daily habit, not a once-in-a-while thing, not only when the mood strikes you. Daily action. Because here's the truth: success is not one big move. It's not one giant decision that changes everything. Success is small, consistent actions repeated over time. It's the discipline of showing up every single day, doing the work, and stacking little wins until they add up to something massive. Think about it this way: if you went to the gym once and expected to get in shape, you'd be disappointed. If you ate healthy for one day and thought your body would transform, you'd laugh at the idea. Yet, so many people treat success like that. They think one effort, one action, one burst of energy is enough. No, it's the compounding effect of consistent action that makes all the difference. The person who takes small steps daily will always outperform the one who takes massive action once and then disappears for months. But here's where most people get stuck. They build excuses. I'll start tomorrow. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't know enough. And on it goes. Excuses are the greatest enemy of action. And if you let them, they will rob you of your potential. The problem with excuses is that they sound reasonable. They give you comfort in the moment, but they steal your future. You tell yourself you'll wait until the timing is better. But guess what? The timing will never be perfect. You wait until you have more money, but money only comes after you start. You wait until you have more confidence, but confidence only grows when you take action. You see, action comes first, and then results follow. Confidence, clarity, and momentum don't show up before action. They're created by action. That's why the people who succeed in life are not the ones who waited to feel ready. They started before they were ready. They stumbled, they failed, they adjusted, but they kept moving. And with each step, they got better. With each step, they learned more. With each step, they built momentum. I always say discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. Taking action today may feel uncomfortable, but not taking action will cost you far more in the long run. Years from now, you'll look back and wish you had started earlier, wish you had taken that chance, wish you hadn't wasted so much time making excuses. And the truth is, no one else is going to do it for you. No one else is going to drag you out of bed, push you to chase your dream, or force you to take consistent steps forward. That's on you. So here's what you need to understand. Taking consistent action isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up every day Do something that moves you closer to your goals. Some days you'll do more, some days you'll do less, but the key is consistency. A little progress every day builds massive results over time. Success doesn't demand that you do everything. It demands that you do something, and that something done consistently compounds into greatness. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want to write a book. Most people will sit around and talk about writing a book for years. They'll wait for inspiration, for the perfect idea, for more free time, and they never get it done. But the person who commits to writing 1 page a day will have a book finished in less than a year. 1 page a day doesn't sound like much. It doesn't look impressive. But that consistent action builds into a finished product. The same principle applies to business, to health, to wealth, to relationships. Little actions done daily lead to extraordinary outcomes. Here's another thing. When you build the habit of consistent action, you eliminate procrastination. You stop waiting and you start doing. And the moment you start doing, life begins to respond. Opportunities come your way, people notice, progress becomes visible. Success starts to feel possible. But none of that happens if you don't move. Now let's talk about accountability. One of the best ways to ensure consistent action is to hold yourself accountable. Track your progress. Write down what you do each day. Measure your results. If you're not measuring, you're guessing. And guesswork is the enemy of growth. When you hold yourself accountable, excuses start to lose their power because the numbers don't lie. Either you took action or you didn't. And if you struggle with discipline, get someone to hold you accountable. Find a mentor, a coach, or even a friend who pushes you to stay consistent. Success is not a solo sport. You need people around you who keep you focused and committed. But here's the bottom line. There will always be a reason not to act. There will always be distractions, challenges, and obstacles in your way. The successful don't wait for those to disappear. They act anyway. They move forward despite the challenges. They don't allow excuses to run their life. They allow action to define their life. So ask yourself today, what excuses have been holding me back? What action have I been avoiding? What's one small step I can take right now that will move me forward? Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the stars to align. Take action today and do it again tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that. That's how you win. Remember this, success belongs to the doers, not the talkers. The world rewards action, not intention. Your dreams don't care about your excuses. Your future doesn't wait for your permission. Life is moving with or without you. The question is, are you moving with it? Habit Wove. Managing time like a valuable asset. If there is one thing every successful person understands, it's this: time is more valuable than money. Money can be lost and made again. Money can be invested, grown, or recovered. But time, once it's gone, it never returns. Every second that passes is gone forever. The wealthy, the successful, the leaders of industry, the visionaries, they don't treat time casually. They don't waste it as if it were endless. They know time is their most precious asset, and they manage it with the same seriousness that others manage their bank accounts. The difference between people who stay stuck and people who move ahead is not just intelligence or talent, it's how they spend their hours. Most people go through their day reacting to life, letting distractions control them, giving away their focus to things that don't matter. They live as though time will stretch on forever, as if tomorrow is guaranteed. And because of that, their days slip by unnoticed, their weeks blur together, and their years are wasted with nothing meaningful to show for it. But successful people treat their time with intention. They plan their days the way others plan their vacations. They know where each hour is going, and they align it with what matters most. They see time not as something to spend, but as something to invest. The average person may waste hours scrolling, watching, or procrastinating, but a successful person uses that same block of time to read, to build, to network, improve. That single shift in how you see your time can completely change the outcome of your life. Think about this for a moment. Every single person in the world, rich or poor, educated or uneducated, powerful or powerless, gets the same Arterseeth hours in a day. No one gets more, no one gets less. The only difference is how you use them. That's why time is the great equalizer. A poor man and a billionaire wake up each day with the same allotment of hours. But the billionaire values his hours as currency. He invests them wisely, and that's what makes him rich in the first place. The poor man, if careless, spends his hours cheaply on things that give no return. Over time, the gap between them widens, not because of luck, but because of how each chose to use their hours. Managing time like a valuable asset starts with clarity. You must know what truly matters in your life. If you don't know your priorities, everything will seem important, and you'll waste time chasing things that don't move the needle. Successful people set priorities. They focus on health, wealth, family, growth, contribution. They align their days with their long-term vision. They don't confuse being busy with being productive. You see, there's a difference between motion and progress. A hamster runs all day in a wheel but goes nowhere. Many people live the same way, busy, exhausted, but not advancing. Productive people, on the other hand, work with direction. Every task, every hour has a purpose that ties back to their bigger goals. Another part of valuing time is learning to say no. If you say yes to everything, you're saying no to the things that truly matter. Time is finite. You cannot be everywhere. You cannot do everything. Protect your time like it's gold, because it is. Some people will drain your hours with gossip, complaints, or meaningless requests. If you let them, they'll rob you of the time you could have spent building your future. Successful people don't allow that. They guard their schedule. They decide who gets their time and who doesn't. They choose carefully because they know every yes is also a no to something else. Managing time also means eliminating distractions. In today's world, distraction is the biggest thief of destiny. Hours are lost to phones, notifications, television, social media, none of which bring you closer to your goals. Successful people recognize that their focus is worth protecting. They build boundaries around their work. They turn off what doesn't matter. They carve out uninterrupted blocks of time to do deep, meaningful work. They understand that an hour of focused effort is worth more than 5 hours of half-distracted work. They don't just manage time, they manage attention. But managing time is not only about work, it's also about rest, relationships, and renewal. Successful people schedule downtime with the same discipline they schedule meetings. They know that without rest, their productivity suffers. They invest time in their families, their health, their spiritual well-being. They don't live for work alone because they understand that balance creates longevity. Poor time managers burn out, chasing short bursts of productivity, but losing energy in the long run. Smart time managers pace themselves so they can perform at a high level consistently for years. Now, here's the key. Managing time like a valuable asset requires discipline. It's not enough to know that time matters. Everyone knows that. The question is, will you act like it? Will you wake up earlier to invest in yourself? Will you shut down distractions when it's time to focus? Will you set boundaries to protect your hours from people and things that don't deserve them? Will you track how you spend your time, just as you would track how you spend your money? Because if you don't measure it, you won't manage it. Let me be direct with you. If you treat your time casually, you will live a casual life. But if you treat your time seriously, you can live an extraordinary one. The small choices you make daily, whether to watch another episode or to read a book, whether to scroll endlessly or to work on your side business, whether to waste your weekend or to use it for growth, Those choices determine your trajectory. Time compounds. Just like money invested grows over years, time invested wisely multiplies in results. The hours you dedicate to learning, building, and connecting today may not pay off immediately, but years from now, they will bear fruit. And the hours you waste, you can never get them back. So how do you start? Begin by auditing your time. For 1 week, write down exactly how you spend every hour. You'll be shocked at how much slips through your fingers unnoticed. Then, cut out what doesn't serve you. Replace wasteful habits with purposeful ones. Create a schedule that reflects your values and goals. Stick to it with discipline. Use tools, calendars, reminders, timers to keep yourself accountable. But most importantly, change the way you think about time. Stop treating it as if it's infinite. Start seeing it as your most valuable investment. If you begin to manage your time as carefully as you manage your money, your life will transform. You'll find yourself achieving more in a month than most people achieve in a year. You'll discover clarity, peace, and progress. You'll stop living reactively and start living proactively. And one day, you'll look back and realize that the biggest difference between where you are and where others remain is not luck, not talent, not even opportunity, but how you chose to use your hours. Time is the currency of life. Spend it carelessly, and you'll live with regret. Invest it wisely, and you'll build a future beyond your imagination. Habit dig, building strong relationships and networks. One of the most overlooked habits of successful people is the way they build relationships and nurture their networks. Success is rarely achieved in. You can work hard, you can set goals, you can manage your time, but if you try to walk this road completely alone, you'll quickly find out that opportunities, knowledge, and growth almost always come through people. The doors you want to open are usually in the hands of someone else, and the path to get there is often built on the relationships you create and the trust you establish. Let's be clear about something. When I talk about building relationships, I don't mean networking in the shallow sense most people think of today. I don't mean collecting business cards, shaking hands, or connecting with hundreds of people online who don't even know who you really are. I'm talking about building meaningful, genuine relationships based on respect, value, and trust. The kind of relationships that last, that stand strong over time, and that actually push you forward in life. Think about it. How many people can honestly say they got where they are completely on their own? Almost nobody. Someone mentored them, someone gave them a chance, someone believed in them, someone introduced them to the right person, or someone opened a. That's how life works. Opportunities are people dependent. And if you want to grow, you must learn how to surround yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and elevate you, not people who drag you down, drain your energy, or limit your vision. One of the best things you can do is to intentionally evaluate the people you spend most of your time with. Ask yourself, are they helping me grow or keeping me stuck? Do they have ambition, drive, and discipline, or do they make excuses and settle for less? Because here's a reality. Your environment shapes your results more than you think. If you surround yourself with people who complain all day, you'll start complaining too. If you're surrounded by people who believe in learning, growth, and excellence, you'll be inspired to raise your own standards. But don't just think about what others can do for you. That's where most people get it wrong. Successful people don't build relationships only to take. They build to give first. They ask, how can I bring value to this person's life? How can I support them? How can I contribute to their success? When you lead with value, when you show up with honesty and generosity, you naturally attract better people into your life. That's how trust is built, and trust is the foundation of every powerful relationship. Another key to building strong networks is mentorship. Find someone who's already walked the path you want to walk. You don't need to reinvent everything from scratch. You need to learn from people who've already experienced what you're trying to achieve. And here's the truth. Most successful people are willing to share their wisdom with those who are genuinely interested and respectful. If you approach a mentor with humility and gratitude, you'll gain insights that could save you years of mistakes. On the flip side, become a mentor to others as well. Don't wait until you're at the top to help someone, even if you're only a step ahead of someone else. You have something valuable to share. Teaching, guiding, and helping others not only strengthens your own knowledge, but it also builds loyalty and influence in ways you can't measure immediately. And here's something important. Relationships are long-term investments. They don't pay off overnight, and they're not meant to be transactional. Don't build a connection only when you need something. That's not networking. That's opportunism, and people see through it quickly. Instead, build steadily, be consistent, and nurture your relationships with genuine care. Sometimes, the opportunities that change your life won't come until years later, but when they do, they'll come because of the seeds you planted earlier. Remember, life is about people. Business is about people. Success is about people. Money may come through systems, investments, and ideas, but behind every one of those things, there are people making decisions, people opening doors, and people who either want to see you succeed or don't. That's why it matters who you choose to associate with, and it matters how you treat people along the way. So develop this habit. Learn to connect with others in an authentic way. Learn to listen more than you speak. Learn to add value wherever you go. And learn to walk away from relationships that constantly pull you down, because your future is too valuable to waste in the wrong company. The stronger your relationships, the stronger your opportunities, the stronger your network, the wider your influence. And when you combine your own discipline and ambition with a network of the right people, success doesn't just get easier, it becomes inevitable. Habit Chi, practicing resilience and emotional control. If there's one thing that every successful person has in common, it's the ability to handle life when it doesn't go as planned. Life is unpredictable. Challenges come, obstacles appear, and setbacks are inevitable. But the difference between someone who succeeds and someone who fails is not the absence of problems, it's how they respond to them. The people who achieve great things are not immune to hardship. They don't have perfect lives. What they have is resilience and emotional control. They've learned to stay steady, focused, and strong, no matter what life throws at them. Resilience is not just a trait, it's a habit, it's something you can develop. It's the practice of keeping your mind, your energy, and your focus intact, even when everything around you seems to be falling apart. Most people crumble under pressure. They let challenges defeat them. They react with fear, anger, or despair. They let temporary setbacks become. But resilient people see obstacles as temporary, as lessons, and as opportunities to grow stronger. They understand that adversity is not the enemy, it's the teacher. Emotional control is equally important. Success doesn't come from reacting to every situation impulsively. It comes from managing your emotions, making decisions deliberately, and staying calm when things are uncertain. People who are controlled by their emotions make poor decisions. They overreact, they panic, they burn bridges, and they sabotage their own progress. On the other hand, people who control their emotions, who respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively, challenges with clarity and purpose. Building resilience starts with, you must believe that challenges are not permanent, that setbacks are not the end, and that every difficulty has a lesson you can use to move forward. Life is never perfect. There will always be situations beyond your control, but what you can control is how you respond. You can choose to complain, to quit, or to feel sorry for yourself. Or you can choose to face the problem, learn from it, and keep moving. That choice separates successful people from everyone else. One of the most powerful ways to develop resilience is to build a habit of facing small challenges every day. Hi. When you intentionally push yourself outside of your comfort zone, when you take on tasks that feel difficult or intimidating, you strengthen your ability to handle larger obstacles. Later, resilience compounds just like any other habit. If you constantly run from discomfort, your capacity to handle hardship remains weak. But if you practice persistence, endurance, and perseverance daily, your strength grows, and you'll be ready when life demands it. Emotional control also requires awareness. You must recognize your emotions before they control you. When frustration rises, notice it. When fear or doubt creeps in, acknowledge it. Awareness gives you the pause you need to respond intelligently. Instead of reacting blindly, you can choose your actions. Instead of letting anger dictate your decisions, you can think strategically. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. It means managing them in a way that serves your goals rather than destroys them. Another key aspect of resilience is learning to accept responsibility. Life will always have unfair moments, but blaming others or external circumstances only weakens your ability to respond. Successful people take ownership. They say, "What can I do to solve this? How can I adjust? What can I learn?" That mindset turns obstacles into opportunities. It transforms frustration into growth. It keeps you moving forward when most people are stuck in a loop of excuses. Practicing resilience also requires patience. Not every problem can be solved immediately. Not every goal can be achieved overnight. Life tests your patience constantly, but resilient people understand that endurance is as important as effort. They stay committed, consistent, and calm even when the results are delayed. They don't allow temporary failures to define their future. They understand that momentum comes from persistence, not instant success. Emotional control is deeply connected to perspective. Successful people train themselves to see beyond the immediate problem, to focus on the bigger picture, and to keep their eyes on long-term goals. When something goes wrong, they don't get lost in the temporary chaos. They remind themselves of their values, their priorities, and their ultimate objectives. This perspective keeps them grounded, focused, and resilient in the face of adversity. Another important point is preparation. People who practice resilience prepare for challenges before they arrive. They anticipate obstacles, plan solutions, and develop skills that allow them to navigate difficulties. Preparation reduces the shock of unexpected events and builds confidence. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how prepared you are to handle it. Preparation, combined with emotional control, is a powerful tool for overcoming almost any situation. Resilience and emotional control also feed into your relationships and reputation. People gravitate toward those who remain steady under pressure. Leaders who remain calm during crises earn trust and respect. Teams follow those who act with clarity instead of panic. By mastering these habits, you not only improve your own life, but also influence the people around you positively, creating an environment where success becomes possible for everyone involved. Finally, remember that developing these habits takes time and practice. You will fail, you will get frustrated, and you will face moments when it feels impossible to stay in control. That's part of the process. Each time you respond calmly instead of reacting impulsively, each time you keep going, despite difficulty, you're strengthening these habits, and over time, resilience and emotional control become second nature. You no longer fear challenges. They become opportunities to show strength. You no longer react to setbacks. They become lessons for growth. Success is not the absence of hardship. It's the presence of resilience. It's the ability to stay focused, calm, and committed, even when life doesn't cooperate. People who master their emotions, who face challenges head-on, and who keep moving forward no matter what, will always rise above those who let fear, frustration, or disappointment control their actions. So, practice resilience every day. Strengthen your emotional control every day. Face challenges intentionally, respond thoughtfully, and never allow setbacks to define your journey. Your ability to endure and adapt is your superpower. It will carry you farther than talent alone, farther than luck alone, and farther than opportunity alone. Master this habit, and you'll find that no matter what life throws at you, you have the strength to succeed, to grow, and to thrive. Habit bot, maintaining health and energy for high performance. There's one thing you cannot buy, borrow, or recover once it's gone, and that is your health. Everything you strive for, success, wealth, relationships, personal growth, depends on your ability to show up fully with energy, focus, and stamina. If your body and mind are depleted, all the knowledge, ambition, and strategy in the world won't help you perform at your best. Maintaining your health and energy is not optional. It is a foundational habit for anyone who wants to achieve lasting success. High performance is not just about working harder. It's about working smarter and having the energy to sustain your effort day after day. Most people underestimate how much their physical and mental state affects their ability to achieve results. They push themselves relentlessly, sacrificing sleep, ignoring nutrition, and neglecting exercise, thinking that sheer willpower can carry them through. They may see short-term gains, but inevitably fatigue, illness, or burnout catches up with them. Without energy, your focus falters, your decisions weaken, and your results plateau. Maintaining health starts with your body. Nutrition is not a minor detail. It's the fuel that drives your performance. Eating poorly may satisfy cravings temporarily, but it drains energy, clouds your mind, and reduces your ability to take action. People who perform at high levels consistently understand that every meal is an opportunity to nourish their potential. They prioritize foods that energize, sustain, and strengthen them. They don't obsess over perfection, but they treat their diet as a tool for performance rather than entertainment. Exercise is another cornerstone. Movement is not just about aesthetics. It's about circulation, stamina, and mental clarity. A consistent routine of physical activity increases your energy, improves your mood, and strengthens your resilience. People who maintain regular exercise routines feel more alert, think more clearly, and handle stress better than those who remain sedentary. Even moderate activity done consistently compounds over time, giving you a level of vitality that becomes a competitive advantage in every area of life. Sleep is often ignored, but it is the most crucial form of maintenance your body can receive. High achievers understand that staying up late and cutting sleep for work is counterproductive. Sleep is when your body repairs itself, your brain processes information, and your energy stores are replenished. Without proper rest, your productivity suffers, your decisions are impaired, and your ability to perform at high levels diminishes. Prioritizing sleep is not laziness. It is preparation for excellence. Mental health and emotional energy are just as important as physical health. Stress, negativity, and unresolved emotional issues drain energy in ways people often don't notice. Successful people intentionally take time to reflect, meditate, or pray, clearing mental clutter and recharging their focus. They cultivate positive habits that maintain emotional stability, such as gratitude, journaling, or connecting with supportive people. Without emotional balance, even a strong body and sharp mind can be compromised. Hydration and proper daily routines are often overlooked, but play a huge role in sustaining high performance. Being slightly dehydrated affects concentration, mood, and energy levels. Building small habits like drinking enough water, stretching regularly, and taking short breaks to reset your mind keeps you operating at your peak. Small, consistent actions allowing you to perform at a level far higher than someone who ignores these fundamentals. Another key point is avoiding excess. Overindulgence in food, alcohol, entertainment, or technology drains both physical and mental energy. High performers exercise restraint and self-discipline. They understand that every choice impacts their ability to operate at their best. The energy you conserve today is the energy you invest in your goals tomorrow. Every unnecessary indulgence is energy lost that could have been directed toward building your future. Maintaining health also means being proactive rather than reactive. Waiting until you feel exhausted, sick, or stressed before addressing your body and mind is a recipe for inconsistency. High achievers treat health as a non-negotiable habit, scheduling exercise, planning nutritious meals, and setting routines that preserve their energy levels. They understand that prevention and consistent care are far more effective than trying to recover after neglect. Energy management is another overlooked component. High performers know when they operate best and structure their day accordingly. They tackle critical tasks when their energy is highest and leave less demanding work for lower energy periods. Understanding your natural rhythms, taking strategic breaks, and pacing yourself ensures sustained productivity and reduces burnout. It's not about working harder. It's about working with your body and mind, optimizing your energy to achieve the best results. There's also a mindset dimension to health and energy. People who value themselves understand that caring for their body and mind is not selfish. It is essential. Neglecting your health is a form of self-sabotage. Investing in your body and energy is investing in your ability to create, lead, and impact the world. It's the foundation upon which all other habits, goals, and achievements are built. Consistency is critical. Health is not a project you complete once. It's a lifestyle you cultivate daily. Small choices, drinking water, walking, eating a balanced meal, getting enough sleep, managing stress, stack up over time. They create a momentum of vitality that keeps you performing at your highest level. On the other hand, neglect builds silently but powerfully, eventually undermining every effort you make in your career, relationships, or personal. The truth is, your body and mind are your instruments. If they're weak, exhausted, or mismanaged, your results will reflect it. If they're strong, energized, and well cared for, your potential multiplies. Maintaining health and energy is not just a habit, it's a strategy. It's a competitive advantage. It's the difference between achieving your dreams and watching them slip away due to exhaustion, burnout, or lack of focus. The most powerful takeaway is this: take care of your health as seriously as you take your work. Prioritize energy over convenience. Treat your body and mind as the high-performance tools they are. Build routines, habits, and disciplines that sustain you, and over time, you'll realize that your ability to take consistent, high-level action is directly tied to the care you give yourself every single day. When you make health and energy a priority, you're not just improving your life today, you're building the capacity to achieve at the highest level for years to come. Everything else, success, wealth, relationships, growth, depends on it. Without energy, nothing else works. With it, everything becomes possible. Success is not a single event, a lucky break, or a random stroke of fortune. It is the product of consistent habits, choices, and actions over time. The 8 habits we've explored, the habits of discipline, clear goal setting, continuous learning, consistent action, effective time management, strong relationships, resilience, and maintaining health and energy, are not just separate practices. They are interconnected pieces of a system that, when applied together, create a life of achievement, growth, and fulfillment. Each habit reinforces the others, and together they form the foundation for lasting success. Discipline is the starting point. Without discipline, goals remain dreams, plans remain ideas, and potential goes unrealized. Discipline is what allows you to take consistent action even when motivation fades. It is the force that keeps you moving forward on days when everything feels heavy or uncertain. But discipline alone is not enough. Without clear goals and planning, your efforts can be scattered, unfocused, and unproductive. Goals give direction to your discipline, showing you exactly where your actions should go. They turn energy into purpose and action into progress. Continuous learning is what fuels improvement. The world is constantly changing, and knowledge is never static. Those who stop learning are left behind, while those who dedicate themselves to growth and education continually expand their capabilities and opportunities. Learning without action is wasted, however. That's why taking consistent action without excuses is essential. Action turns knowledge into results. It transforms intention into achievement. Action is what separates talkers from doers, planners from performers, and dreamers from achievers. Managing time like a valuable asset is the habit that ensures your actions are effective. You can be disciplined, educated, and willing to act, but if your time is wasted on distractions or low-priority tasks, your efforts won't yield the results you desire. Time management allows you to focus on what matters most, to invest your hours wisely, and to maintain momentum toward your goals. Strong relationships and networks amplify all of these efforts. They connect you with people who provide guidance, opportunities, and support. They open doors that knowledge and action alone cannot. Relationships create influence, trust, and leverage, critical elements for building a successful life. Resilience and emotional control are the habits that sustain you. When challenges inevitably arise, life is not smooth, and setbacks are part of the journey. Those who can endure difficulty, manage stress, and keep moving forward build momentum while others stall. Emotional mastery keeps you steady, focused, and capable of making smart decisions, even in turbulent times. Without it, all other habits can be undermined by frustration, fear, or discouragement. Maintaining health and energy is the habit that ensures your body and mind are capable of performing at their highest level. Without energy, discipline falters, action slows, focus diminishes, and even relationships suffer. Health is the foundation that allows you to sustain effort, tackle challenges, and seize opportunities consistently. When these 8 habits are integrated into your life, something powerful happens. They create a cycle of momentum. Discipline fuels consistent action. Action produces results which reinforce confidence and motivation. Goal clarity directs focus, which enhances productivity. Learning improves decision-making and skill, which amplifies results. Relationships open doors and create support systems. Resilience ensures progress continues despite challenges. Energy and health provide the stamina to maintain all of these habits day after day. The more you practice these habits, the stronger they become, and the more they compound into lasting success. It's important to understand that no single habit is a shortcut. Success is not found in merely knowing what to do. It is found in doing it consistently. Each of these habits requires attention, effort, and time to cultivate. There will be moments when it feels difficult, when life demands more than you expected, or when progress seems slow. That is normal. What separates those who achieve their goals from those who don't is perseverance. It's the ability to maintain these habits over months and years, understanding that consistent small actions lead to massive results over time. Another key point is balance. While pursuing success, it's easy to focus only on work, achievement, or wealth, neglecting relationships, health, or personal growth. But these 8 habits are not meant to be applied selectively. They are meant to create a balanced life. Discipline without rest leads to burnout. Learning without action leads to frustration. Time management without emotional control leads to stress. Energy without purpose leads to wasted potential. Integrating all these habits ensures that your success is sustainable, meaningful, and fulfilling. It's also essential to revisit these habits regularly. Life changes, circumstances evolve, and goals shift. Habits must adapt. Regular reflection allows you to assess what's working, what needs improvement, and what new strategies will help you grow further. Lifelong success is not a one-time achievement. It is a continual process of refinement, learning, and application. Those who succeed understand that personal growth is a journey without a final destination. Each day presents an opportunity to practice these habits, improve yourself, and move closer to your vision. The power of these habits lies not just in achieving financial success or career milestones, but in creating a life of integrity, capability, and confidence. A life where you can face challenges without fear, take advantage of opportunities without hesitation, and live with energy, focus, and purpose. A life where your actions, relationships, and decisions consistently lead to progress. When applied together, these 8 habits form a framework that supports achievement in every area of life: personal, professional, financial, and emotional. Now remember, success is built daily. Each choice you make, each habit you practice, each moment you invest matters. Your future is the sum of your daily habits. The 8 habits of discipline, goal setting, continuous learning, consistent action, time management, strong relationships, resilience, and maintaining health are the building blocks. Use them wisely, practice them relentlessly, and watch how your life transforms. Now, when you commit to these habits, you are no longer at the mercy of luck, circumstance, or external events. You become the architect of your own life. You gain control over your time, energy, decisions, and results. You build a foundation that can withstand challenges, adapt to change, and create opportunities. These habits are your tools, your strategies, and your advantages. Master them, and you unlock a level of personal and professional success that most people only dream about. So, in the end, lifelong success is not about one big moment or one single victory. It's about the steady, deliberate, consistent application of the habits that shape your future. When you practice discipline, act with clarity, learn continuously, take action, manage your time, nurture relationships, remain resilient, and maintain your energy, you are creating a life that consistently moves toward your goals. A life that is purposeful, productive, and fulfilling. A life that leaves a legacy. Success is in your hands. These 8 habits are within your reach. The choice to apply them consistently, thoughtfully, and with intention is yours. Every day, every decision, every action matters. Apply these habits, and you will build a life of achievement, satisfaction, and impact that endures long into the future.